Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching the channel. Thanks for joining the live chat. Can you hear me, viewers? Taha Abdu says Pakistan news, no Ethiopian news. What do you mean, Sah Abdu? Do you want to hear only news about Pakistan in this live chat? Musi Haptis says, hello Sajid, sorry to hear about your loss. Thanks for your kind words, Musi. Uh, yeah, very painful for me, for my family. He was very close family member. His family will be tested now. His immediate family will be tested. So I pray to Allah that we manage to pass through this test and trial with success. I just need prayers from you people. The title of this live chat is Ethiopian Government in Trouble. Why did I choose this title? Theodorus Alamo says, what is it now with you and these crazy titles? The title is not crazy. Once I explain, then you'll understand what is cooking up behind the scenes. The government knows that things are happening very rapidly against the government. How will the government counter the situation? JY77 says, please analyze Tigray and Amhara force and future possible scenarios. Theodros says, I think Pakistan is the one in trouble. Come on. Don't be stupid. Try to understand what I'm going to report. Try to understand it first, then you can write a comment. I'm not defending anyone. I don't defend my country. I'm not a blind patriot. So if you have anything to say about Pakistan, you're free to say, free to speak. Don't ban anyone. But let me speak. Sandro says, did you see the pics of all the Fano leaders of all provinces in Kwara? Did you watch my video, Sandro, which I released earlier in the day today? I talked about a setback to the Ethiopian military. The video was about Fano meeting in Kwara. Did you watch that? 3G says the Ethiopian government is very weak, unlike what is seen externally. Back foot, thank you for your kind words. Beniam says, will you tell us if it is not safe in Kashmir anymore so we could leave? Are you in Kashmir, Beniam? Shafo joined to welcome Shafo. Musi Hapte says, I really admire your honest and accurate reporting of the Horn region. Those who are trying to silence you from covering this region are those who have direct or indirect interests. Yes, I know. I know, Musi. Beniam is in Addis, but he's asking about Kashmir. What did you ask about Kashmir, Beniam? You said, is it safe in Kashmir? Well, Kashmir has never been safe. It has been a conflict area for decades. Someone is asking about India building lots of dams to stop Pakistani water. I don't know. I did not work a lot on it. You need to work on a conflict day and night to understand it. And it's better to do your homework first than you should speak. I keep myself busy with Ethiopia mostly. So I don't know what is happening in India, in Pakistan. Sometimes you people tell me what is happening in South Asia. That is why. Uh, uh, but I told you about the war when it started between Pakistan and India 4 days ago. I said it won't last long. The analysis was based on the developments of day one, the types of attacks carried out by Pakistan and India on day one indicated that the war won't last long. That's what I said. It wasn't based on extensive research and background knowledge. It was based on that day's events. And ceasefire announced being violated too, but I think it will be solidified in coming days. I can cover Pakistan, India too, but it's. I could have covered Russia-Ukraine war too, by the way. I did not. I could not rather. It's not easy to cover a conflict, believe me, because you need to put in all your energy and your efforts to understand a war, the background to a war, background, then the current situation. Then war has different angles. You need to understand all the angles and then you should talk about it. There are lots of people talking about India Pakistan war. International media is covering it too. You can learn from them if you're interested. I just did two videos. I gave you just a brief analysis of it. I could have covered it in detail, but for that I had to leave my reporting of the Horn of Africa. I think perhaps I understand the developments in Horn of Africa better than I understand the developments in South Asia, because all day I'm busy with the Horn. So it's easier for me to work on the Horn of Africa than to work on India-Pakistan issues. Mihari says, I'm going to Tigray next month. The video that you made earlier today was a sad news. Let me explain. I did a video earlier today. I said that foreigners are not being allowed to visit Tigray. Uh, I made that video because two foreigners contacted me. One is from Japan, and the other one is from another country. They were in Addis, but when they tried to board a flight, Ethiopian Airlines flight from Addis to Mekelle, they were told that they could not go to Mekelle, that they had to have some sort of clearance from foreign ministry and the embassy of the country from where they are. Uh, the ban on movement outside Addis was actually imposed on diplomats. If, if you remember, a few weeks ago, this ban was imposed. I think diplomats were told that they cannot leave Addis without approval from Ministry of Foreign Affairs, etc. But this ban has been extended to foreigners, especially those who are interested in going to Tigray. Why? Ethiopian intelligence agency agents are deployed at Addis Ababa International Airport. Either they misunderstood the directions passed by the government about the movement of diplomats, they're applying it to foreigners too, or they're deliberately trying to stop the movement of foreigners from Addis to Mekelle. But what I said in that video was based on information from the horse's mouth. The foreigners who were stopped from flying to Mekelle, they contacted me. And tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, again, they'll try to board a flight from Addis to Mekelle. They'll try to convince the NIS agents there. Then we'll give you an update. Agartho Media says, we will give one Oromo beautiful wife to you since your focus more on Horn of Africa. Come on, I respect all women, whether from Oromia, Amhara, Tigray, anywhere in the Horn of Africa. I have a wife, I have a family. I respect all women. Let's start, viewers. Why am I saying that the Ethiopian government is in trouble? What happened? Why is that the Ethiopian government is in trouble? Well, it seems that some. Let me start, viewers. Let me start, viewers. LM joined to welcome LM. LM is a member too. Special welcome, LM. Let me start, viewers. Let me start. Just a few minutes of my talk, then you can write comments. Aman joined to welcome Aman. Aman is a member too. Why am I saying that the Ethiopian government is in trouble? Well, all signs are there now. Thank you, Alam. Thank you for your kind words. All signs are there that an attempt is being made to start an anti-Ethiopian government movement. If you remember, a few weeks ago, I did a video about the possibility of change in Ethiopia, possibility of overthrowing of PM Abiy's government. In that video, I concluded that the atmosphere needed for this type of change so far is not visible in Ethiopia. I said when Mengistu Haile Mariam was removed, or when Emperor Selassie was removed. Back then, people took to the streets, farmers, etc. And then armed groups took advantage of the frustration of the community, of the people. And same is the case with EPRDF2. When EPRD was removed, it was removed after months of protests. And protests start and continue when people are ready to sacrifice, ready to lay down their lives. I said in a video a few weeks ago, that this type of sentiment is missing in Ethiopia. Some protests have been seen, but people are not willing to just go out and confront the security forces. Politicians based abroad, some in Ethiopia, they're trying to create environment conducive to this type of anti-government protest movement. Tuesday is crucial. Tuesday, the last day of the deadline given by Ethiopian health professionals, including doctors. They have given a deadline to the government for raising their salaries, for meeting other demands. Tuesday, the last day. What will happen after Tuesday? Health professionals have managed to organize themselves. They are protesting in hospitals, in the premises where they are working. On daily basis, they're announcing ultimatums. 4 days remaining, 3 days remaining. Now they're saying 3 days remaining. People like Joar and others, they are backing this protest movement. They want to use health professionals for their political objectives. Lagasa Tolo, Ethiopian communication minister, today spoke, and he criticized politicians. He said some politicians are trying to use doctors and others for political purposes. Taya Dandia has become active. He is asking doctors, teachers, soldiers, government workers to rise, to speak, to struggle for justice, for equality, for their rights. He said in a post a few hours ago that resorts, beautiful parks are not what is needed in Ethiopia. Ethiopia needs access to basic necessities for the people. That is why people will have to struggle for justice, for equality. So, Ola is busy too, reportedly. Ola, Dandia, Joar, others, they are trying to use government workers, doctors, teachers, trying to start political protest in Ethiopia. Once doctors, teachers, political workers, they start protesting and tens of thousands take to the streets, then these armed groups, politicians, can take advantage of this anti-government sentiment. Federal government knows it very well that once doctors are allowed, teachers are allowed to protest, the movement will spread. It will become difficult to contain the movement. That is why the federal government has already started taking action on the likely protesters. A carrot and stick policy has been adopted by the government. Doctor leaders are being contacted. Money is being offered for postponing protests. In some cases, doctors are being threatened. Carrot and stick policy is being used by the government. Teachers are being monitored. workers of laborers, workers of different unions, they are being monitored too. They're being kept under surveillance. Government knows it very well that if doctors are allowed to protest, other sections of the society will also join, and that anti-government protest will be used by politicians based in Ethiopia and abroad. I think if doctors start protesting, then the will be arrested because he's trying to fuel this protest against the government. Jawar is doing the same too, but he's based abroad. Again, we could see Oromia as the center of these protests. It was Oromia-based protests which led to dismantlement of EPRDF. Once again, we are seeing signs that in Oromia, major protests could start next week. It will be difficult for the Ethiopian government to use force against doctors publicly. That is why a campaign of intimidation has begun. Money is being offered. Government wants to ensure that before Tuesday, it creates divisions in doctors' community. Government might announce a relief for doctors in terms of raise in salaries, but this is the time to announce a raise in salaries, because if this announcement is delayed and once doctors manage to come out and they're joined by the groups, it will be difficult perhaps then to convince doctors. So far, government is not giving in. No announcement by the government to meet the demands of the Ethiopian health professionals. So next week, crucial, I think. We'll see what happens. Jafar says, Al Jazeera, he's watching Al Jazeera saying, India accuses Pakistan of violating ceasefire. Hope you are safe. Well, whenever ceasefires are announced, it takes time for them to solidify. Both countries have agreed to ceasefire, but it might take some time for the ceasefire to be fully effective. It was difficult for me to stay in touch with you throughout the 4 day long conflict. Internet, electricity, supply issues I faced, but I managed to stay in touch, keeping myself safe, keeping my family safe. Doctors, by the way, in Ethiopia are getting $80 salary per month, which is just a mockery of this profession. How will they treat the people, the patients, if they're not financially self-sufficient? How can you survive with $80 if you have family, if you have kids, if you have to pay rent for your house? How will you survive? How can you survive? So doctors are being neglected, teachers too. And if somehow, by the way, they're very organized. I mean, doctors in Amhara, in Oromia, in other parts of Ethiopia, they're in touch and they are pretty organized, I would say. If they start protesting, the protests will be very coordinated. That is why government fears that such a protest movement could be used, could be hijacked by politicians. That's what, like I said, Tolo said today. That just shows that there are fears in government circles that this movement by health professionals could turn into political movement. That is why I think that government won't allow the health professional teachers to protest. Next week, crucial. After Tuesday, we'll see what doctors announce. Will they stop their healthcare activities? Will they take to the streets? That will be announced after Tuesday. How much doctors earn in Pakistan? Just want to compare. Well, I think if you start your career as a health practitioner in Pakistan, the minimum salary would be around uh, 400 to $500. I think generally they get over 1,000 Pakistani rupees, 150,000. It's around 400 US dollar. The starting salary. Yeah, Alim makes a good point. He says, I worry about their safety if the doctors and medical workers wouldn't this administration try to make examples out of few of them. Yes, this is what I hinted at, that already a carrot and stick policy is being adopted. That's it for tonight, viewers. I'll be back tomorrow. uh, I think next week could be very eventful in Ethiopia. Will the federal government solve the issue with doctors before Tuesday? Will it wait for the expiry of deadline given by the medical professionals? Will it wait to see how united, how strong the healthcare communities? All that will be clear after Tuesday. Then they are trying to wage a conflict. He wants to go abroad, by the way, but he was not allowed to leave the country. Uh, he could be arrested again, I think, if protests start in the Oromia region after Tuesday. Thanks for watching, viewers. I'll be back tomorrow with this week's last live chat. Till then, bye bye.